This is Nigel Maynard, Senior Editor at Hanley Wood. And today at the Builder Show, I'm going to be walking the floor with Stephen Quick of Steele and Alexander Homes in Virginia. And Stephen is going to be taking me to some products that he thinks his buyers would like. And our first stop is at the Schlage booth, where we're going to look at Nexia. Stephen, tell us why you like this Nexia product.
You know, for a long time our customers have been asking about all the things they see online to do with home automation. So to finally find a product that's going to give our customers access to that home automation at a really affordable price, or perhaps even lets me include the system right up front, is very exciting to us. So, you know, cameras, controlling of climate and environment on the inside of the house, and much more. We're very excited about it.
Now, normally a system like this is pretty costly. Tell me, from a price perspective or an affordability perspective, what's the story here?
You know, we've looked at other companies that do this, you know, when we've done high-end theaters, and it's very, very expensive. All the components that go with it, the software up front, the computers that go along with it, and I think this product here is going to it's in the hundreds of dollars that you can get started with this product.
Okay.
So really that's attainable for all levels of construction.
Okay, so give me a quick run through of how you would install a system like this on your home, and what's the capabilities?
The capabilities, well, the product has something called the bridge. And that bridge connects to your network on the inside of your house, your wireless network, and then it runs off Z-Wave technology, which is an open source technology. So the first thing that Schlage is doing is they're giving us wireless access to the front door. You're going to get codes that you can set for your kids. You know, kid comes home from school, types in this thing, it sends a text to your phone, lets them know they're home.
Okay.
You know, it can also be set up to trigger the motion sensor, which starts the camera so you can see who's coming in the house. They have other things, an endless amount of things that you can plug into the network. Light controls, you know, Train makes an incredible control for your HVAC system that lets you, from your iPhone, from your Android phone, from your iPad, from your regular computer, control the environment inside the house.
So Stephen, we're at a booth that I'm sure everyone can get into, and it's called Wine Keep. And there's a story here, so tell me why you like Wine Keep.
Well, it's Wine Keep, and one thing we don't see here is something called the Beer Cave. And the Beer Cave is what stopped me here. But we have a lot of customers who want to do, you know, inside wine coolers. And so we've spent a lot of time trying to figure out, how am I going to insulate the walls? I got to put a special door in, I got to put a separate HVAC system. It gets very expensive. Ultimately, people bag the idea because it's too expensive.
Right.
So when we saw this is going to solve a problem for us of being not able to bring something to market because it's too expensive. This is very affordable.
Okay.
So now, it's a kit, you put it together, build your walls around it, and you're done.
Well, speaking of HVAC systems, what about refrigeration? Because wine needs refrigeration. How does that work?
It comes with the refrigeration units. You do have to have your HVAC person connect the refrigeration lines, but it does come as a complete system. So everything you need to make it operational, with the exception of the labor of someone who's just going to hook up that part of the system.
So you can see your customers getting into something like this?
You know, I really can, and I can see customers who didn't think this was attainable, now contemplating it.
Okay, our final booth today is Dan's, and you were telling me about Dan's, and you particularly like this one because it satisfies a need in the marketplace. So tell us what that is.
You know, our customers are always looking at magazines, and they're always saying, I want this. And I look up what that is, and I go price it out for them, and they have a heart attack when they see the price. So I was wandering through the show this morning, and I came across this particular booth, and the gentleman that was helping me out actually pointed me to this kiosk, and it was saying this is really targeted at builders so that we can have very affordable upgrades for our customers.
Okay.
So the finishes, and actually the quantity of finish, so they have multiple different finishes, styles, shapes, bridge faucets, everything that we see in high-end design, and they're doing it somehow affordably.
Okay, now you mentioned retro, which I think is a good segue, because you mentioned one that's not retro. It's rather modern and forward-looking.
It is.
Let's go over to the other kiosk and look at the one that you're telling me about.
Okay.
So Stephen, we're here at this showpiece for the kitchen. Rather modern, rather striking. Tell me what you like about this thing.
You know, this is very out of character for us as builders because we build historic products,
Right.
you know, historic recreations and historically influenced homes. But this is something that's very unique. And again, we've had people asking for this, and there's a particular company that makes a version of this that's $2,000 plus.
Yeah.
Dan's, is bringing this to market for in the $600 range. So that's probably the most attractive thing, is that we can get what's called high style, high design, you know. I mean, this is a real conversation piece. So if you're entertaining, you know, people will probably come and want to do the dishes just because they get to use this faucet.
So do you imagine it would be an upgrade or?
Well, this will definitely be an upgrade, but because of how Dan's does their pricing and manufacturing, it won't be a huge upgrade.
Right.
It'll be affordable.
Okay, great. So Stephen, today we saw Nexia, we saw Winekeep,
Yeah.
and we saw Dan's. And there seems to be a theme here of affordability, but as well as style.
Absolutely.
So can you finish
know,
us off with this?
As the market has gotten, you know, tighter, as everybody's had to tighten their belts, people's desire for fine things hasn't gone away.
Right.
Their desire for high style and finish and design hasn't gone away, but their ability to pay those high prices has been seriously eroded. So we know they still want these things, and it's our job as builders to do the research to figure out, how am I going to deliver what they want, where they can afford it. I've got to get them what they want and make sure they can afford it.
Okay.
So that's the key for us.
Great. Stephen,
Hey,
thank you very much for
Thank you,
walking with
Nigel.
us today.
Thank you.
This is Nigel Maynard from Builder TV.